Did you know that only 1 out of 10 people in the world is left-handed? And the strangest part, science still doesn't have a definitive answer as to why. What we do know is that left-handed people hide fascinating secrets very few are aware of, from hidden abilities in the brain to unexpected advantages in sports and certain careers. Today, we'll dive into the mysterious world of lefties. Are you one of them? Do you have a left-handed friend? Or are you just curious to understand how the mind of someone who writes with their left hand really works? Stick around until the end, because what you're about to discover might change the way you see left-handed people forever. Let's begin. For centuries, being left-handed was a mystery, and even today, it remains one of the most intriguing traits in humans. Let's start with genetics. Studies show that if one parent is left-handed, there's a higher chance the child will be too. But this doesn't explain everything. There are many families where no one is left-handed, and yet a left-handed child is born. So is it all in the DNA? Not exactly. Science also points to the brain. Left-handed people tend to have different brain organization. While most people process language in the left hemisphere of the brain, left-handed individuals might process it in the right hemisphere, or even across both. That makes them unique. Some studies suggest that being left-handed might be influenced by hormone levels during pregnancy. Certain hormones may affect which brain hemisphere becomes dominant. But there's another theory. From an evolutionary standpoint, being left-handed might have offered a survival advantage. In combat or competitive situations, lefties were unpredictable. Most opponents were right-handed and didn't know how to face them. Even today, in sports like boxing or tennis, lefties often have a subtle edge. It's almost like the left-handed brain was designed to break the mold. And that brings us to the next point. For a long time, being left-handed was seen as a disadvantage, even as something wrong. But today, we know that being left-handed comes with some surprising benefits. Let's start with creativity. Left-handed people are believed to use the right hemisphere of the brain more, which is associated with imagination, intuition, artistic ability, and visual thinking. So it's no surprise that many famous artists, musicians, and writers were left-handed. Pablo Picasso, Leonardo da Vinci, Kurt Cobain, Paul McCartney, Jimi Hendrix, all left-handed. Even in science and tech, there are brilliant lefties. Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. Coincidence? Maybe not. Experts believe that left-handed people develop more flexible thinking because they're forced to adapt to a world made for right-handed people, from scissors and desks to instruments and tools. This constant adaptation trains their brains to think differently and solve problems creatively. In sports, especially contact sports like boxing or fencing, left-handed athletes often hold a strategic advantage. Their opponents aren't used to facing them. Lefties can surprise, switch up the rhythm, and dominate the game with unexpected moves. And that's not all. Studies suggest that left-handed people often excel in tasks that require spatial awareness, like architecture, engineering, and even coding. So, if you're left-handed, you don't just belong to a rare group. You might actually have a hidden superpower, but things haven't always been easy. In the next section, we'll talk about the challenges, prejudice, and historical struggles that left-handed people have faced, and how it shaped their view of the world. Being left-handed hasn't always been a badge of honor. In fact, for centuries, it was seen as something to be corrected, or even feared. In the Middle Ages, being left-handed was considered a sign of evil or bad luck. The Latin word for left is sinistra, which is where we get the word sinister, a word still associated with darkness or danger. In many cultures, the left hand was seen as unclean. Children were forced to write with their right hand, even if it felt completely unnatural. And this wasn't just ancient history. Even well into the 20th century, schools punished children for using their left hand. Some were slapped, tied, or embarrassed in front of others just for writing differently. The consequences were real: anxiety, low self-esteem, even speech problems like stuttering. And still today, the modern world isn't fully built for lefties. Can openers, desks, spiral notebooks, credit card machines, scissors, musical instruments. Almost everything is made for right-handed users. Left-handed people constantly adapt, often without anyone noticing. But that constant need to adapt builds something special: resilience, ingenuity, problem-solving skills. It's as if society has unknowingly trained left-handed people to become more resourceful and flexible. Fortunately, things are changing. More products are being designed with left-handers in mind. And science continues to prove that left-handedness is not a flaw. It's simply a different way of interacting with the world. And now, to close this journey, let's look at some amazing facts about left-handed people. Facts that might just blow your mind. First, although only about 10% of the world is left-handed, studies show that men are slightly more likely to be left-handed than women. No one really knows why. Left-handed. Get ready, because these facts about left-handed people are truly eye-opening. People also tend to stand out in creative, athletic, and analytical careers. Now listen to this. 5 of the last 8 US presidents were left-handed. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, Gerald Ford. Coincidence? Or is leadership somehow connected to being left-handed? There's more. Some research shows that left-handed people may perform better in multitasking environments, processing different types of information more quickly when switching tasks. They're also more likely to experience insomnia, but they tend to dream more vividly. And if you're left-handed, here's something to celebrate. There's an official day just for you. August 13th, International Left-Handers Day. It's a day to celebrate differences, to recognize what makes you unique. Because being left-handed isn't just a physical trait. It's a different way of seeing, thinking, adapting, and thriving. So, if you're left-handed, or if you know someone who is, now you understand just how rare and powerful that truly is. And remember this: sometimes, the ones who go against the current are the ones who leave the biggest mark.